Good morning, 819S. This morning, it's a hot one. The weather forecasts are on my app. It says it's 31 right now, but it says feels like 35. And I agree. Yesterday and the day before were definitely comfortable days, but today it definitely feels hot. It's hot, way hotter than it was yesterday, or the day before. Today, I want to talk about DuoLingo. DuoLingo, I started again about 100 and some days ago. My streak is over 100 something days right now. I think 104, 105, something like that. And I tried it first many years ago, and I was not so impressed. I didn't really think it was so special or so interesting, so I hadn't used it for a really long time. And these days, one of my coworkers, who is actually a really good Japanese speaker, probably better than me, said, no, you should give it a try again. I started using it, and it's really good. And another coworker also, who's kind of a beginner at Japanese, he's lived here for a long time, so he can communicate for daily life things, but he doesn't really speak Japanese. He started doing it too. He said he also really likes it, and it's made a big difference in his communication with Japanese people. His streak's longer than mine. Not quite a year yet, but he's been doing it a lot longer than me. So I decided to give it a shot. And I think my basic impression is that if it's the only thing you're doing to study Japanese, it's probably not the best, but it's not going to be zero either. If you have a textbook, a course, if you're watching anime, drama, stuff like that, if you're reading comics and you're doing DuoLingo, I think you're probably going to make better progress. DuoLingo does give you vocabulary, it does give you speaking and listening practice, and you have to practice reading hiragana, katakana, and kanji. As you get through the higher levels, there's more and more kanji added. Some criticism I've seen of DuoLingo is that it doesn't teach any grammar. And I think it does, but I think it teaches it in a implicit way, not explicitly, not saying this is this, but when you miss the particle ni in the sentence, or you can't hear the word o, and then you get it right, you kind of trained your brain that, oh, when I say this, I need to use this particle here. Toshokan de hono yonda, right? So yomimashita, because they use a more formal version. So de o ni wa, I think those particles are kind of tricky for a lot of people when they're still learning Japanese and without explicit instruction. Some people find it a little frustrating, but I think it's the same in English, like at, in, on. You can teach people the rules. You use at. When it's you use at when it's time, and you use on for a day or a date, and you use in when it's a month or a period of time. But knowing the rules and being able to use them are quite different things. Without making a lot of really good sentences or reading a lot of good input using at, in, and on, you're probably never going to be able to do it. And in fact, I use this as an example because I think some of my students, even higher level students, still will say like, oh yeah, at the 31st I went shopping. And you're like, no, on the 31st I went shopping. I understand you, but it's definitely not correct. So I think training your brain to see this natural pattern, or to see the pattern naturally instead of memorizing all of the rules independently, is definitely a better way to do it. Although it doesn't feel, mentally, it doesn't seem like you're making progress, I believe that you actually are. Yeah. The other thing is, with the streak, it's kind of like my YouTube videos. Yesterday and the day before, I was so tired, so I didn't really do anything significant with my videos. So I just uploaded something to keep my streak. And I think DuoLingo is the same. And personally, I don't have any problem with that. If you spend a day doing 20, 30, 40, 50 lessons, depending on how much free time you have, and then the next day you only do one, and the next day you do 5, 10, 15, and the next day you do one, I think the point is keeping the habit alive. if you do 0, 0, 0, 0, you make no progress. But if you take at least one step every day, you're making some progress. Yeah. So it's the same idea as me uploading a video. Video didn't have any specific or important content, but I kept my streak going. And I think if I stop doing it for a day, I can probably resume. If I stop doing it for 2 days, maybe my motivation will peak slightly. And then if I stop doing it for 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, I'm probably going to just stop completely. So, yeah, I think DuoLingo can be the same. The gamification of it definitely makes it nice. And the last thing is the bonus point system, or the boost, XP boost. I like it because I think it gives you an amount of time that you can or should study for. So the amount of XP boost you get per session is usually dependent on how many lessons you did in the past and how many you do moving forward. So I like that as a motivator because you can oh no, a big truck behind me. Because you can monitor how much you're doing. And I think the longest I've gotten in one day was probably an hour and 20 minutes worth of XP boost, something like that. So I think the XP boost can help make you consistent, but I also don't like it because they give it to you and you don't get to choose when. So if I wake up in the morning and I do one lesson just to keep my streak, I'm going to get an XP boost right there in the morning. But I want the XP boost later in the day when I have time to spend on it. If I have time to spend on it, I guess I should say. Because the reason I usually do one lesson in the morning is because I don't know if I'll have time later in the day. But I wake up in the morning, I do my first lesson over a cup of coffee, and then XP boost for the next 10 minutes. Okay, so now I have to do it for the next 10 minutes. 10 minutes in, I do 2 more lessons and it gives me another XP boost for 20 minutes. I'm like, no, I don't have 20 minutes right now. Don't give me the XP boost now. Anyways, yeah. I wish that I could receive the XP boost in my account, and then I can choose when to use it. I don't even mind if it expires, but yeah. There's a few small changes I'd like to see made, but other than that, I think, yeah, it's a good supplement to any Japanese study. And of course, you can also add in some other languages. I think if you're coming to Japan, start doing DuoLingo and maybe get a phrase book or something like that to kind of learn some phrases, memorize them as set phrases. And yeah, you might not be able to communicate perfectly, but I think at least giving it a shot is a good idea. So yeah, check out DuoLingo if you haven't. I'm not sponsored by them. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Get out there and ride. Definitely ride safe.